Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, the other day when I was running some errands in town, something happened. There are two ladies who met, and seemingly from the look of things, they are taking time before meeting each other. So, ladies, you know how we normally do it. We are happy, hugging each other. Hey, I missed you. How have you been? So they did as we normally do. And what caught my attention? One of them told the other, "Hey, when are you getting married?" And she showed she had a ring, actually an engagement ring, and showing the other one. See, I'm already engaged. I'll be wedding in 2 months' time. Hey, when are you getting married? It's late. What are you waiting for? This caught my attention. And to me, I felt it was a bit sensitive. Remember, this is a crowd. They're not even in the house. It's in a crowd. It's in town. It appeared a bit awkward to me. And so several things came into my mind. Now, before we make some comments in public, we have to be very sensitive. There are some very sensitive issues in life that we don't, before we make comments about, or before we make funny jokes about them, we have to consider a lot. We got to be sensitive. Now, marriage issues. We never know why someone has decided not to get married. Now, take these two scenarios. You are in a group of friends, your cycle. Of course, when you are within your cycle, there are so many things, there are so many jokes you can make, like such jokes. Maybe there's one of you who has not yet gotten married. And therefore, since you are in your cycle and you know each other's character, you can make jokes, make fun about this. But now take this scenario again. You've met a friend, and this friend you've taken quite long before meeting, and you're in a public place, and you give such a joke. These are two different scenarios. Okay, the first one is okay because you are together, you know each other very well. The people around you are your friends, and therefore, if you make such a comment or such a joke, it's just okay. But now this is public. You're addressing someone like that in public. You are touching on a very sensitive issue in public, and I noticed it did not only catch my attention, but it attracted so many people's attention because I could hear some comments from people who were around. So the other lady who was asked the question, from her face you could see some sort of embarrassment. When it's matters pertaining marriage and other sensitive ones that I'll also talk about later in my next episode are very sensitive. We got to handle them with great care. Now, I put myself in that lady's shoe and I felt that pinch. So if it were you, what would you have done? I think if it were me, if I was the one giving the comment, if it was a must I give the comment, I would maybe call the lady aside and ask her out of concern, because at times it's also good to be concerned as friends. You see your friend taking a long time without making that step. You can make a comment or you can advise in a good manner. I'll give some cover names. So the lady who was asking the question, let's call her Betty, and the other lady, let's call her Grace. So if I was Betty, I could call Grace aside, and even as we are, or maybe as we are together where there's no crowd, I'll ask her, hey Grace, it's now long overdue. What's happening? I think that is in a better way, especially when we are in public. Remember, I've said not the scenario of the other scenario where you are with your friends is quite different. This is in public. We never know why someone decides not to get married, or we never know why she has delayed to do so. Maybe she has gone through a lot of disappointments. Maybe she has gone through a lot of broken engagements. There are people who are even taken for introduction to their parents, and last minute as they are organizing for their weddings, they get disappointed, or they just get dumped for no apparent reason. Or there are also others who've gone through a lot in their childhood as they were growing up. Maybe they grew in a violent and an abusive marriage or family. They experienced how violent their parents were, or maybe they experienced some hardships, and therefore they decide not to get married. And so we ought to be very sensitive with our comments. Also, on issues pertaining to marriage, at times someone may get married and end up not succeeding in their marriage, and they end up separating. The two of them are the ones who know the reason why they ended up separating. Their marriage never worked. Let us not judge these people. You hear somebody asking the other, why did you leave your husband? Or why did you leave your wife? They have reasons why they decided to do that. It's not easy as others may think. And therefore, before you make comments or before you publicly address someone on such issues, let us be very careful. Maybe you're commenting on somebody, or you're judging somebody who has left, or who has separated with the husband or the wife. They know best why they did that. As a friend, maybe you can advise, but let us not force these people to go back. Let the decision come from them themselves, because they best know why they are in that situation. And remember, you never know why someone decided to do that. It can either be out of uh, maybe their conduct. That's why it ended up like that. They are liking. But at times, there are some situations, there are some circumstances that make someone to end up like that. Let us not judge them. When you see somebody single for a long time and maybe he or she is in an age where they're supposed to be getting married, find a way of advising, but don't judge or don't give statements that are embarrassing. And kindly check, be careful where you address these people. Because you may think that you are making, or you may think that you are better giving that comment in public, but maybe you are hurting this person. So friends, let us be very, very sensitive.